What's up, everyone? It's Jason, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about power, because it's a question I've been hit up about quite a bit since I've been posting some of, the content from my events. People are asking about the lighting, they're asking about how we're able to do what we do. Now, typically in my area, a lot of the venues are set up to accommodate bands and large production events. I think that's something that is super important, but not every location has this massive amount of power that's easily accessible to power your shows. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, tonight we're here at the Park Chateau, one of my favorite locations in New Jersey, and we have a medium-sized setup. I have my DJ booth behind me. I've got a set of RCF speakers, TT W4As, along with TT18 powered subs. In addition to that, I've got 4 moving heads, and I've got a set of spark fountains. Now, this power requirement technically requires 4, if not 5, 20 amp circuits. How do I know that? Well, I've done my homework, and I think that's the important part of understanding what and how to power your system. Now, there are some options. If we didn't have 4 circuits accessible behind our DJ booth, we could run some of our movers or truss towers in other parts of the room. We could break up the system or run very long extension cords to other parts of this building to get the necessary power to accommodate this system. How do you figure out what you need? Well, first and foremost, you need to look at the literature that comes with your gear. Every piece of gear that you buy should come with an owner's or an operator's manual. And I know many DJs, myself included, typically take that piece of paper or that booklet and put it off to the side. That booklet has a lot of information that's super important, including power information, and you want to take a look at this stuff. Also, you can find a lot of this information on the manufacturer's product website, and if that's not enough for you, I think it's important to buy what's called a kilowatt. I don't know what it's called. It's like a dongle. Essentially, it's a thing that you can plug into the wall. You can plug your equipment into it, and you can get a power read for what that piece of gear is drawing at that present time, what the outlet is, as well as what that gear is drawing. I don't have mine with me today, but it is a piece of gear that we have tested most of our gear with at the office at SCE in my warehouse. And it's kind of like part of, the equation that's needed as you start getting into production-based events and you start adding larger gear. The movers I use are not like DJ toy lights. These are actually like pretty serious and pretty capable, pretty feature-rich fixtures, and they require a lot of power. Same with the speakers. These are not like basic-ass dual speakers or simple boxes. Each one of these speakers requires at least 6 amps of power, and in some instances, you can only put 2 speakers on one single outlet, especially if it's not a 20 amp outlet. Now, how do you know if it's a 20 amp outlet? How do you know if it's a 15 amp outlet? Simple. Ask questions. Go to your venue before your events and do some testing for yourself. There's another indicator that you need to be aware of, especially from an electrical perspective. A 20 amp outlet oftentimes will have the ground, which is the circle on the bottom. You have the 2 parts where you have your positive and negative go through, but a 20 amp outlet actually has what looks like you've got your number 11, if you will, for your plug. One of the numbers has a little notch on it, and that is an indicator of a 20 amp power outlet, because that is required in some electrical code in some locations. Now, every venue is not wired up that way, but it's important to kind of do your homework, to check out what's going on, to ask questions to the staff, to the engineer, to the owner, to the person that's running the venue or the location that you're working at. And most importantly, it's important to know what your gear draws and how much of your gear you can put on a single 15 amp circuit as well as a 20 amp circuit. Do your homework. I think this is one of those things that's super simple. It shows that you're prepared. It shows that you are knowledgeable of the gear that you're using. And as you start doing this more and more and more, you're gonna figure out what works for you and what doesn't. The point of all of this is to just make sure that you are covered. You know what your gear needs, you know how to lay it out, you know all of your options before you get on site to a venue. You don't want to arrive to a venue and not have long enough extension cords, not have a plan as to how you're going to power up whatever it is that you're bringing in. That really looks amateur, and it could cost you a lot of time trying to figure things out the day of an event when you have other things to be thinking about, like the ceremony, like what you're going to be playing when people are on the dance floor rocking. My name is Jason. I hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear from you. Got questions? You need something? Throw it in the comments underneath this video, and thank you for checking it out.